Hi, I'm Charles Rafferty. I'm the director of the MFA program here at Albertus Magnus College. One of the things that makes the Albertus program special is the flexibility that we offer students. Students can pursue the degree in a completely online fashion, or if that's a little bit too high-tech for them, they could certainly pursue the degree in what we call a blended fashion. And what that entails is meeting on the New Haven campus with faculty and students 3 times per semester. And we have the meetings take place on Saturdays because the student that we're actually targeting here at Albertus is a student who's well along on the road of their life. They're family people, they have kids, they have jobs, they have mortgages, and they don't have a lot of time that they can commit to being in a particular place at a particular time. So we picked the Saturday as our meeting time, and we figured the worst that would happen is you would have to put off cutting the lawn. Most of the students that come to the MFA program have a book in mind that they want to write. That's really the reason anybody enters an MFA program. They want to be a writer, and it's often a dream that they've put off for many years. So the students that arrive here do have a book in mind, generally speaking. But some of them don't. Some of them just know, I want to be a poet, or I want to try my hand at fiction, and they don't have a particular novel or collection of short stories in mind. All of that is good. Part of the education that you would get at the Albertus program is figuring out what that first book is going to be. Publishing, the publishing industry is obviously changing rapidly and constantly over the last decade. And while the MFA program does have a goal of getting the student to publish a book at some point, we certainly can't promise that you'll publish your master project a couple of days after your graduation. Ideally, what we want to have is the student well on the way to producing that first book, whether it's a novel or a memoir or a collection of poems. And the primary tool that we use to getting the student into that position is the writing workshop, which of course is the centerpiece of any MFA program anywhere. What makes the Albertus program a little bit distinct is we have something called the Master Project, which is an 8-credit course in which we pair the student with a professor in their genre. So if you're writing a collection of poems, you would be paired with a professor who was a poet, and they would just go over your manuscript with fine-tooth comb, iteratively, over and over again, until we got it as clean as it could possibly be. And that is the main goal of the Master Project, to get the student to have a marketable piece. Many of the area MFA programs do have what's called a low residency requirement, where you have to be on campus or at some exotic location for 1 or 2 weeks of the year, where you would meet in person with the professors and the student body. We don't do that here at Albertus. In fact, we style ourselves as a no residency program because the type of student that we're encountering is too busy to, frankly, go on a 2-week residency. They don't have that vacation time to burn. They've got jobs that they have to be at. They've got family obligations. And the Albertus program really gives them a chance to pursue their dream of becoming a writer, but doing it on their terms, on a schedule that they devise. The faculty is great, of course. We've got people working in nonfiction, poetry, and fiction, and everybody on the faculty has published in their field. I myself am primarily a poet, but I also dabble in fiction as well. Sarah Wallman, who is a great fiction writer, she's won a number of prizes and placed her stories all over the place. One of the great things that she's done recently is she won the International Fiction Prize from Prada, which is a great prize because there's a lot of money attached to it, so it's really nice. In terms of how long it takes to complete the MFA, it's a 36-credit program, and if you're going here full-time, we're assuming that you're taking 9 credits per semester, so that would be 2 years to complete the degree. But we have had a number of students who have pursued it on a part-time basis, and that's fine. If you're part-time, you would have to take 5 credits per semester, and consequently you might end up having 40 credits as your finishing degree. And the reason for that extra credit is at Albertus, we really think that the workshop is an important component of the MFA, and we insist that students take what we're calling a multi-genre workshop every semester that we're here. It's just one credit, but we think it's indispensable to the student's development because it's so important to get critiques, regular critiques on the work that you are doing, and having people in different genres deliver those critiques is actually enlightening. I like to think of it as cross-pollination. It's just a nice way to get new ideas. If we're fiction writers, there is something we can learn from poets and vice versa. I am primarily a poet, but I'm also a fiction writer. And I'm somebody who doesn't believe in the lightning bolt of inspiration. I think if you want to write a book, the first thing you have to acknowledge is that it's going to be a lot of hard work. And really, I think having a schedule is critical to any book project completion. And getting an MFA is a step in that direction. Of course, you don't have to have an MFA to be an author. Shakespeare didn't have one, Hemingway didn't have one. But it really sets you on a path that others have trodden before you, and it's just a way to accelerate your ability to become a better writer. So I do believe heartily in a writing schedule, and I of course have to make that work with my day job. By day, I work as a manager of editors and writers at a technology consulting company. And even though I've got that full-time job, I still find time to write every single day, and that's something that our students struggle with and something that they have to come to terms with. You know, it's crucial that a writer commit to a schedule, and that's one of the things that we teach the students at Albertus. As I mentioned, I'm not a believer in the thunderbolt of inspiration. Writing is a lot of hard work. In fact, the better term for writing is saying that you are a reviser, not a writer. So we try to get that point across to the students, and I live it every day of my life, as do all of the other professors at Albertus, which I think is a great boon to the students because they're getting advice from people who are doing exactly the same thing they are.